Guys, welcome to Black Scout Survival. Tonight or today, this afternoon, whatever time it is, we've got sleeper cells in the homeland, man. A nuclear doomsday plane circling DC, and Trump just said the quiet part out loud. A tactical nuke on Iran is now officially on the table. Now, just moments ago, right when Trump was about to fly to Bedminster, he took a few questions from the media, and he threw Tulsi Gabbard all under the bus. Check him out.
So you have that Iran is building a nuclear weapon. Your intelligence community has said they have no evidence that they are at this point.
Well, then my intelligence community is wrong. Who in the intelligence community said that?
Your director of national intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard.
She's wrong.
So there's been a rift going on with Tulsi Gabbard and Trump, or the Trump administration. I don't believe she's going to make it much longer. She's probably going to get the boot. But she's maintained this stance since back in March, whenever I talked about or showed a video the other day. She's maintained the same stance since March, but she's saying that they don't have a nuclear weapon. We've been hearing from Benjamin Netanyahu for the past 30 years that Iran is 2 weeks away from acquiring a nuclear weapon. Okay. So anyway, but this isn't just about the Middle East anymore, guys. This is about the next war possibly starting here on American soil. Okay. I'm going to walk you through the full battle map. Okay. What the intel says, what the media isn't telling you, and how someone like yourself with that warfighter mindset can see the pieces moving into place. Now, let's jump into it. So buckle up. You're watching Black Scout Live. Anyway, let's start off with just dropped across the intel landscape. This is the FBI is now warning. Let me put it up for you. The FBI is now warning that they're ramping up surveillance on alleged Iranian sleeper cells inside the United States. This is not a clickbait. This is not made up. This is saying coming from the FBI. This is also saying that they're bet within 48 hours there's going to be an American attack. Now it's very possible because Joe Biden left the doors open. But at the same time, President Trump is weighing whether the U.S. should join Israel in striking Iran. And a U.S. military doomsday plane built for nuclear war continuity just landed at the Joint Base Andrews under the call sign Order 01 after flying an unusual coastal path. You don't need to be a freaking spook to see where this is going. This looks like what you would call pre-positioning. This looks like readiness drills. This looks like we're being war gamed, right? And every American needs to understand what the stakes are. So, under Biden, we had 600,000 gotaways, illegal immigrants who crossed the border and disappeared into the U.S. amongst the populace. Now, that's not a number. That's a standing freaking army is what that is. And now we know Iran-backed terrorist groups like Hezbollah could be embedded in this country, lying dormant. Sleeper cells aren't some Hollywood fantasy. They're real. They're trained. And when activated on command, you think asymmetric warfare, low cost, high impact. You hit Iran's nuclear sites. They don't just strike Israel. They hit Atlanta, Houston, D.C., maybe a power grid, maybe a mall, a baseball game, maybe mass casualty hit to send a message. That's the risk calculus now. And it's deadly serious. Okay. They're confirming that they're watching them in the U.S. right now. So that doesn't mean it's a theory. They know they're here. Now, let's get into Iran's side of this. The Israelis hit Fordow fuel enrichment plant buried deep inside a mountain. That strike didn't destroy what they intended to destroy. Okay. Now they're asking the U.S. to deploy the GBU-57, and that's a 30,000-pound bunker buster. The only thing that can punch through 200 feet of rock. But even that may not be enough. Now the conversation has shifted, has escalated to what if we just use a tactical nuke? Fox News just aired that phrase, everything is on the table, they're saying. AF Post confirmed that the White House has not ruled out a tactical nuclear strike. Now, you let that sink in. Not long ago, this type of rhetoric will be unthinkable. Now it's casually on the table. Check it out.
Fresh from the White House briefing. Hi, Jackie.
Hey, Martha. There have been a lot of headlines this afternoon, including one from The Guardian that claimed that the U.S. military has doubts about whether the bunker buster bombs could get the job done, and further claiming that only a tactical nuke maybe could finish it. And it further stated that the president is not considering a tactical nuke, that it was not one of the options that was presented to him. I was just told by a top official here that none of that report is true, that none of the options are off the table, and the U.S. military is very confident that bunker busters could get the job done at Fordo.
The Guardian reported Trump was getting cold feet, worried about the effectiveness of bunker busters and not willing to use tactical nukes. But the White House tells Fox that's not true. Everything's on the table, even tactical nukes. The big question is, if the United States does target Iran, what happens next? The White House isn't considering boots on the ground. Iran's 3 times the size of Texas and surrounded by mountains. The Guardian.
Troops on the ground, not yet. Okay. But Putin just warned that the world is drifting into World War III. He ain't saber rattling, not bluffing. He's not trying to get someone to bow down to him. He's worried. Why? Because Russia and Iran are military allies, right? China has already flown in military supplies to Iran earlier this year. Iran backs Hezbollah, Hamas, and Houthis, and all of them have snuck into the U.S. or struck U.S. and also struck U.S. allies in the last 12 months. Now, Trump is stepping into theater, and he's made it clear, if Iran gets a nuclear weapon, that red line, that's the red line. I don't want to fight, he says, but if it's a fight or let them get the bomb, you do what you have to do.
Americans both here and abroad who are not only concerned about the U.S. potentially getting involved in another conflict in the Middle East, but worry about the potential for retaliation here at home.
Yeah, well, I don't want to get involved either, but I've been saying for 20 years, maybe longer, that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. I've been saying it for a long time. And I think they were a few weeks away from having one. And they had to sign a document. I think they wish they signed it now. It was a fair deal. And now it's a harder thing to sign, you know. It's a lot of water over the dam. But, you know, it's very, I say it very simply, Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. Very simple. If they think that it's okay for Iran to have a nuclear weapon, then they should oppose me, but nobody thinks it's okay. People that don't want, I don't want to fight either. I'm not looking to fight. But if it's a choice between fighting and them having a nuclear weapon, you have to do what you have to do.
So this is the thing, man, is that this is not campaign talk. Okay. He's not running for president. Now, he did say this on the campaign trail, actually. There was also a memo sent out to all the influencers. I didn't get one, but I saw it posted that with all the talking points that Trump has been talking about Iran not having a nuclear weapon forever. That's why you've seen Steve Crowder say it, Benny Johnson, all of the controlled influencers. They've all been stating this. Oh, Donald Trump has been saying this forever, and maybe he has, but they did send out flyers to everybody, or an email blast. I saw the email blast. They sent out all the controlled influencers to say that he's been saying this forever, and maybe he has. Now, I do know that on the campaign trail, he did say this. Now, let me tell you how this looks through the lens of someone who has a freaking logical brain. This is what you would call a destabilization spiral. The longer we stay passive, the stronger the enemy grows. But at the moment we strike, we risk waking up sleeper cells, triggering cyber attacks, and escalating to a global multi-front war. Now, the thing is, I'm not for this war at all, but also I don't believe Iran is good people. And also, I will never forget USS Liberty, and amongst a lot of other things. So to me, let them duke it out. We don't get any involvement in it. That's my personal opinion. But teach his own. But best case scenario, man, is Israel finishes the job. Okay. And then the U.S. supports maybe behind the scenes, not to have any direct involvement. Iran backs down due to overwhelming threat, or worst case, the U.S. strikes Iran. Iran retaliates globally. Hezbollah activates within the U.S. China and Russia posture in the Pacific and Eastern Europe, and essentially the dominoes fall. I can see that happening. Truthfully, I really feel that's the way it's going to go. You know, the truth is there may not be a clean option anymore. You know, sometimes there's just no way to go out clean, man. Not whenever you have everybody wanting to destroy America, even Americans. You know, and the fact is that Doomsday freaking Plane, right, where they want to keep the continuity of the president and the military, pretty severe, right? Now, and while we're on it, we can talk about the clown show. A week ago, Israel's strike was a success, they said, right? But now it actually failed. Benjamin Netanyahu said, yeah, man, the strike was a success, but now it actually failed. Now we need U.S. bunker busters. Actually, bunker busters won't work now. So how about we just bomb them? Then they'll build the nuke. It's like a schizophrenic narrative that flips daily. And it proves one thing. We are being conditioned. Okay. We're being conditioned for escalation, conditioned for fear, and conditioned to accept a limited nuclear exchange as a rational next step. That is not diplomacy. That is narrative warfare. That's psychological prepping of the battlefield into the American's mind. Okay. So that is what's going on right now. And again, back to this freaking Doomsday Plane. Okay. The E-4B Night Watch. This is Pentagon's last step in the case all hell breaks loose. This is basically a flying Pentagon. It's built to keep the president and the military command operational during nuclear war. Again, it just landed in D.C. under the codename Order 01. Why now? Why that call sign? And why such a weird coastal route? Anybody in the military knows that this was a message internally to tell the government we're ready, externally to tell the enemies we're watching, and to us, it's a damn warning to be prepared. That's what that is. They're warning us to be prepared. It should be a warning sign. Maybe not directly, but you should take it as that. Okay? It is what it is. And you got to be ready. I mean, pay attention to what's going on. I think the next 2 weeks, because you saw this, Trump will make Iran decision within 2 weeks, White House. And then Israeli intelligence believe that Iran can build a nuclear weapon in 15 days, per New York Times. And you see the times published. You see the dates, June 19th, 9:22 p.m., 1:46 p.m. Okay. So that is a conditioning is what that is. Now, before I forget, let me talk about REARMED creatine supplements, guys. We just launched this. I'm very proud of it. Most creatine supplements are for the freaking gym bros in shaker bottles and no urgency. If I can get it to freaking pick up. Man, it's not wanting to pick up. There it is. This was built for operators, guys who live out of a rucksack, who train hard, who fight harder, and don't have time to play chemist in the locker room. Okay. Again, this is Black Scout Survival REARMED Tactical Gummy. Your no BS field grade creatine system. Gummies are awesome anyway, but every dose hits with 5 grams of creatine monohydrate, the proven gold standard. No fluff, no underdosing, no scoops or spills to be worried about. That I used to carry around the powders, man, that dump out in your freaking gym bag. You know, this is just raw, efficient power in a grab and go format. That works anywhere. Put in your EDC bag, gym bag, field kit, whatever. You want strength that actually shows up in the mirror and under pressure. REARMED is the most operationally functional creatine on the market, guys. That's why we developed it. No BS. So go pick up some right now. We don't have much left because you guys have drained us for it. But anyway, REARMED Tactical Gummies guy, before the next drop sells out, go ahead and grab some. It's what I use. I like the gummy format. It's a treat. But again, you don't have to mix up powders and stuff in the gym, right? Shaker bottles and all that kind of weird stuff. But anyway, you need to be sharp, be ready, be loud. They want you confused. They want you scared. But this tribe, this brotherhood, we stay frosty, we stay strapped, and we stay dangerous. Am I not right? Give me a frosty, strapped, and dangerous in the comment section. Now, I want you to tell me, do you believe Iran has a nuke? And if we strike first, are we prepared for the freaking blowback? Do you think terrorists are within sleeper cells in the U.S.? I do. I've seen them. Anyway, guys, this is Black Scout Survival. Subscribe, share, and train like your life depends on it, because one day it just might. Black Scout